All right, we are recording. Well, happy Friday, everybody. So glad you are here and appreciate you being patient. Starting next week, I've got to confirm with Jesse, but I think it's going to be for his call on Wednesday as well. We are going to be doing all of our calls at 9 Pacific time, noon Eastern going forward. And really, it's more of a selfish move on my part, but I do morning workouts, and when we switch back to Pacific time, like it gives me 20 minutes to get ready when I get home. So anyway, we are changing that to going back. So it'll be 9 o'clock Pacific for everybody and on noon Eastern. And that will be.
What day does that start?
What's that?
What day does that start?
Monday.
Okay.
We're going to start that on Monday going forward, and we're going to keep it that time just going forward. So yeah, so today what we wanted to cover with you guys is, we talk a lot about, really getting, staying organized and getting through the funnel and things like that. So we're going to do a little training on that. And, but a couple of quick announcements on that too. Besides the training changing next week, I know next week we've got the Vegas event. And I know some of you guys are going to be at that Vegas event. Donna, you're still going to be there? Yeah, and Jenny, and I know we've got a few other people who are Lisa, and I know some others who are going to be there. So I'm excited to get to meet you guys. I will be there. Obviously, Ruth will not. I will, Jesse will, Mazafar will. So we will all be there, and we really look forward to getting to meet you guys. I'm going to find out all the details about the Tuesday morning training, because obviously it is going to be, they're doing some live announcements in Vegas. And so it's very possible, that we're going to have, I got to find out if they're streaming it or what they're doing, because we want to make sure that you guys, get to get all the details. But I have a feeling they're going to be streaming it live. So you guys will probably do that instead of the huddle on Tuesday. But I'll let you guys know as soon as I know all the details on that. And for those of you who came on or just got on here, first of all, I just want to let you guys know, I said before, we're going to be starting on Monday. We are changing our huddle time to 9 a.m. Pacific and noon Eastern, and we're going to keep that time going forward. So, anyway, what we want to cover today is we want to cover just some organizational things. And so we're going to go over a couple of things. One, if you're, like to be a little more electronic, we're going to cover a good way to do some follow-up that way. But if you are someone who likes to do things a little more on paper or whatever, we've got something for you too. And, it's funny, I'm kind of a half and half girl. I've got notebooks and to-dos all over written, but I also have them on my calendar. And, it's, but what we're going to show you today, whichever one you choose, is going to be a really good way for you to follow up. And so some of you guys have met my sister. Oops, hold on one sec. Some of you guys have met my sister Kimmy, some of you have not. But for those of you who have not, I just wanted to share with you real quickly. She's going to be coming on and doing some trainings with Ruth and I. She's going to be helping out with kind of redoing some of our training to facilitate a little better, but I'm excited. She is, we've been in business together, honestly, since 2013. We've had a lot of fun together in this business. A lot of it, big laughs together in this business for sure. And it's just so funny because we got to hang out last week when I was in New York and really start going through some of this stuff. And it got us digging out some of our stuff from our old company, right? And our old company, it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. But what it did for sure is it allowed us to grow. But what's so funny is we've spent this last week as we're putting some stuff together here for the team, digging out some of our stuff that we had done in that business. And I got to tell you, it's just so funny how far we've come, but also how far ahead of the curve we were with the online building, with some of the things that we had going on back then. And while doing that, Kimmy remembered this training that Jesse had done. And so I asked her if she would do it with you guys here today, because it's just a phenomenal training. And, but, you know, I'm excited that you guys are going to get to work with her a lot more. She's an incredible leader. Everybody loves her. And she and I have a joke, you know, because she's like Ruth and I, she speaks the truth, but we have a joke. I always look at her and I'm like, why do people like you? Right. And remember that? But it's just because she's so honest, and we laugh when we say that very lovingly. But she is an incredible leader who always works from the heart, is always looking to help people in the best way she can. And she's a platinum leader here in Seacret. You're going to be seeing a lot more of her. And as she comes in and is working this online system with us. But she's going to do a training with you guys today, like I said, that Jesse taught us when we got started. And I think for a lot of you, you're really going to love it. So Kimmy, I'm going to let you take it away. Can't hear you.
All right.
Now I can hear you. Now we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's so weird. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to hold this. Yeah, we had the same issue the other day on Zoom with my phone. I don't know what's going on, but thank you for the intro. That was awesome. And since I've been getting started again, I've realized that I have to be able to organize a bit better because I'm kind of starting over. And I have, you'll probably hear my son who's going to walk in here in just a second. Bear with me. Yes, my. Okay. Bear with me for a second. All right, honey.
Under the car.
Okay, I'll be down in a minute, okay? So funny. Go. Hi. All right. I hear dogs in the background too, so it's not just me. Okay, so trying to stay organized with mom brain. This is what's happening. I used to work full time. Going to work full time was so much easier than staying home. So any of you that stay home, boy, I feel for you. This is way more work than I ever realized it could be. So trying to stay organized with all of my different contacts and still get stuff done without the interruptions. Just a minute.
In the garage.
I had to laugh because it's kind of the mom thing, right? Your kids never want you until you are in the middle of doing something. And yeah, I know, I've witnessed it at her house. That's exactly what happens. And here she comes.
Okay, sorry, he's not happy with me right now, but I'll only be a few minutes. So this is where my organization, I had to come back to basics because literally I can't get on the computer for 5 minutes without being pulled away, distracted, different sites, you know, my ankle, dog did something, always distracted. So I said, holy cow, I'm trying to get through all of these. These are all customers that were in my downline that have been just kind of sitting there for the last 3 years while I raised my son. And I always stayed active. I know Trisha always talks to you about the importance of having your subscribe, save, and win and staying active. This is so important because I continued using the products and staying active. I have 1.3 million carryover volume on my right side. So that's really nice. And so always stay active. And I have a diamond leader on my right leg, which is amazing. So now I have to play catch up. And with all of these people I'm going through and I'm seeing some have points, some weren't my customers, some were other people's agents or other people's customers. And I said, how am I going to follow up with everybody and keep track? And you can see I've got like things circled and scribbled everywhere. And I just can't keep track. And then I remembered this training that Jesse did, and he called it Fort Knox in a box. And it's so simple. Okay, so what I have 2 boxes of index cards. Okay, one here and then one here. One's going to be for storage and one is going to be for keeping track. On the inside, you've got, you're going to have the numbers 1 through 31 because those are going to be the days of the month. And then you're also going to have a tab for each month. And 2 of mine just fell out when I did this. So you're gonna have, I've got March right here at the beginning, and today's the 19th because this just fell out. That just fell out. There you go, March and the 19th. And so what I do is I go to March 19th and I'm like, okay, who am I gonna follow up with today? And on each card, I've got people's information. So I'll have their name, their address, maybe their phone number right there at the top. And then just keep little notes on like the day that you talked to them, what you talked about, if they ordered, when you're supposed to follow up. And then when you're supposed to follow up, you just take that, say I sent her a message today, the 19th. And after talking to her, she says, hey, follow up with me in August, right? Maybe follow up with me in August. So I can come over here. I can go to August and I can pop her card right in August. So when I get to August, literally, I just see who I have to follow up with. So this works really well for me right now. And it's working really well, especially getting new exposures, because I meet people and I'll be able to say, okay, I met Rachel this week, and I met her because of a post I made on my Facebook page about my son, and made a comment to her based on a comment somebody else made. Ended up meeting with her, found out a little bit about her. Her husband passed away in January of cancer. She's home with her and her 2 kids. And I ended up taking some samples to her. She tried the products. It was a social distance sampling. So I gave them to her, like left them on her porch, waved to her, went home, got on FaceTime, did the demo over FaceTime, had some laughs. She liked the product. She made a purchase. Yesterday, she made another purchase. And then she got invited to a presentation. So she's trying to get onto a presentation today. So I kind of wrote to her and said, hey, thanks for supporting. I want to follow up with you in about 6 days just to see if you got your product. Is that okay with you? So I let them know when I'm going to follow up with them, ask them if it's okay with them. And then I just go ahead and move their card in the box to, whatever date it needs to be. Again, we're in March. Maybe I'm going to follow up with her on the 27th. So I put her card in there. And Jesse has what he calls like a 3-strike rule with these, or a 3-contact rule, where if you make contact with somebody 3 times and then they don't get back to you, then they go in the other box. And that would just be a storage box. This is where you put contacts that you're not actively engaging with. So for the Fort Knox in a box, again, just get some index cards, get 12 dividers and put January through December on them. And then 31 for the days of the month. Sorry, I can't really see that too well. And tomorrow, all I'll do is move the 19th to the back. And then I'll go to whatever I need to do on the 20th, which right now I don't have anybody in there yet, but I'm sure after today I will. So I know that was a little hectic with my toddler coming in, but that's probably life for most of us, right? Hectic, and we have to do what we can do. For me, this really helps because it's a physical thing. It's a giant blue box, so it's hard for me to misplace. And then I can keep track of everybody. Yes, Erin, you have a question.
Yeah, do you have the 1 to 31 days for each month? So you've got like.
Nope. No, I just put the month in the front of the days. So all my extra months right now are just back here, like January, February, you see them back here. So when April rolls around, I'll just move March to the back. I'll move April to the front of the numbers. That's all. If I have to, I don't think I would have much room if I put all the 31 days. So if someone wants me to follow up with them in August and I put it in August, maybe they say August 15th, I'll just put the note on the card. I'll throw it in the August month. And then on the card, I'll say follow up on the 15th. And then I'll file it in the appropriate day when I get to that month. Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I think it'll really help keep you organized. The fact that you can take notes about specific things, when you're doing your forming with people, anything special maybe that you talked about, anything that was mentioned. I talked with someone yesterday whose father is an ex-Harley rider and was also a Vietnam veteran. Well, so is mine. So there's a point that we can connect on. Someone was talking about their kid and having, a football game, and they're excited to be playing at college now because they haven't been able to. So I can write down personal things about each person to kind of keep that connection going and keep it authentic. It is hard to remember all the personal things about every person that you meet. So when you do keep a system like this, it helps you keep that information right at your fingertips. So I hope that was helpful. Sorry for the jumbles at the beginning trying to get through it, but I can still hear him yelling in the background. He's mad at me now.
No, Kimmy, thank you. I think that was super helpful. And how many of you do better by doing something by hand like that versus doing it on a computer? Genevieve, yeah, I think for some, Genevieve, I think it comes back to our accounting days, right? Back when we got started, nothing was online. And, but I think sometimes just physically being able to see it makes a difference. And I know even when Kimmy and I were doing some things last week, like all of our training, we have online and we've got the thing. Well, I printed everything out and took it to, like, I literally printed out every single one of our documents from the training portal. And even seeing it was helpful for me. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, we've got this in here a couple of times. We've got this here, just being able to see it, it made a big difference. So, I think about, some of you who might be a little confused with some of those things, even, I say print out the document and put them up on your wall if you can, or something where you can visualize them, at least until you start realizing, until you get the whole system down. Because if you can see some of the things and be able to look up quickly and reference them, it's going to make a little more sense with going through it. And but I know it's watching you do that, Kimmy. I'm like, I think I need to go. Well, I need to go look in my folder or my drawers in the office there, because I know I had this Fort Knox in a box set up, and when we moved, I think it got packed and I never pulled it back out. So,
and that's exactly what I did. I just happened to remember the other day, and I messaged Jesse and I'm like, isn't there some training? And he sent me his video, which I will send to you so you can share with the team. And it's funny because it's Jesse from 11 years ago, and he looks like an absolute baby, like just an absolute baby, but he's still Jesse, and he's still adorable, and he's still awesome. But he talks through the Fort Knox in a box. It's like an 11-minute video, and it's better than I just did, but it'd be useful. I think you guys would all benefit from it. I know I am. It's helping me organize everything, because right now the computer and the phone and the technology, it doesn't work. If I'm on my phone, it gets grabbed because he wants to do Kidopia or watch YouTube Kids or something. So this works.
I love it. Thank you so much, Kimmy. I think that was really useful for a lot of people. So we appreciate that. And I see notes here. Yep, I'm a paper and pen gal. I know. And Carla, you printed a bunch of stuff and put it in a binder. Yeah, smart. And especially till you kind of figure it out, right? Just kind of know until you get that process kind of memorized on what you're doing. I think that's a really good idea. And it is a lot of paper. I apologize, but being able to see it so that you know where to go, makes sense sometimes too. So does anybody else have any questions on the Fort Knox in a box before we move on? No? Thanks, Carla. I do think that. All right, perfect. So what I wanted to share with you real quickly. Now, this is actually, I can't take credit for this one either. This is one that Carla uses, and I'm going to share it with you guys because what I'm going to do is I've made a copy of it, but I'm going to basically take all her information out of it, right? But then share just the blank Google Doc with you guys, or Google Sheet, I should say, so that you guys can use it. But let me just pull up and then share my screen. Now I do just know I do have her stuff in it right now, but I have copied it, but I wanted to just kind of show you her process on a couple of things. All right. All right, let me come back over and share. So for you guys who want something more digital. All right, can everyone see my screen? So this is a document that Carla had put together, and I love it. It's very detailed, and you can see here she's got lots of tabs on the bottom. But here was her group management. So she's keeping track of the groups that she's in, how many members, other people in Seacret. And then she keeps track of the different posts she does because she follows that post sequence, right? So she keeps track of those. Over here, what she does is she has got basically her weekly evaluation details. So she's got prospects in play, the next step, what she's done, tagged, participating in a reset, went well, didn't go well. She does her whole weekly evaluation here on certain things. And Carla, if I'm missing things too, stop me because you might have a better explanation.
Trisha, on that one, if you want to go into one of the weeks, it kind of evolved. So that was my week 1 and 2.
Okay.
Like on any one of the weeks, like.
Okay. And and it looks like here too, before we jump in the week, you've got your master tracker of all your people who are in S&P.
Yes.
And you've got a follow-up here with where you found them. You've got them marked, when they joined the group, right? And then she's got like her next steps and stuff. But then she does start breaking it down by week, right? So she's
right there. That's where I started to do the evaluation. So it's definitely evolved, but yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So do you want to explain some of it, Carla, while I have you on here?
Sure. So we always hear about the daily method of operation. So I just wanted to be really intentional about this year. So I wrote down the daily 7 tracker. I check off every day that I do it. My goal is to do 5 of the 7 days. And then I was starting to track how many Zooms were scheduled, executed, presentations, prospects in play, who I tagged in the S&P training and who I added that week. And then deliberately going through on Sunday nights as part of my evaluation process that Trish and Ruth have trained us on, of the 3 things that went well, the 2 things that I'm working on, and the 1 action I'm going to take. And that's hard to do. I mean, it's really hard. I don't know if it's the auditor in me that wants to do, put down 10 things that I need to work on, but it takes some intention for sure. And then I highlighted in red, like where I missed. So on, this particular week, I wasn't connecting with my 2 people. And so it just makes it very obvious where I'm missing to help with my evaluation.
I love that, Carla. And see, and then she has it going forward every week, right? So she's got her people over here, and you can see it did evolve, with some of these weeks, and her numbers, and she keeps track of her weekly score. But I love how you kind of put what you've missed so that what you're doing. And I see more than 1 action here. So that is the auditor new, but you can see the other thing too, as she's got her new prospects in play, and then she moves them over, as they, join the team and stuff. So you can see back here, whoops, you didn't have it there. So you can see as someone who just came in, and then she moves them over into that next tracker. So it's a really good way to, keep track of your people. And I like how she's got some master sheets in here as well. And then obviously each week she just goes through and she's updating the people that she's moving through on the different places. So you can see it's just something she's been doing for a while. She's got lots of weeks on here. But just another way to really track things. And like I said, I can give you guys, I'm going to take her information out of it and just give you guys the blank slate to work with. And we'll put that link in the chat, and I'll also put it in the training portal so everybody can have it. But did that make sense to everybody, even the way that Carla is doing it digitally, right? Just kind of really keeping track, because that's, when you're doing stuff online, it's really important to keep track of the people who you're putting into the group, right? Knowing who's going in the group, knowing where you are in the process with them in the group. And whether you, choose to do it in a written way or whether you choose to do it in a digital way, you have to do some way. Otherwise, you're going to do a lot of work and put a lot of effort in without the result you're looking for, because your follow-up isn't there, right? If you don't have a list of people, then you don't know who to follow up with. And so it's super important, to make sure that we have that. Kimmy just sent me some stuff too. I'll share in the group for you guys, just some visuals of stuff to make it a little bit easier. But does anybody have any questions on either one of these methods?
Okay, I'm so not technically good. Okay, so with that spreadsheet, which software are you using? Is that?
It's a Google Sheet, I believe.
A Google Sheet.
Yeah, it's a Google Sheet. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like on my computer, that should be available if I go in there and look, right?
So if you have a Google account, right? Do you have a Gmail or anything like that?
I do, yes.
Then when you go into, actually, I'll show you just for the visual. 1 second.
Can you use it on an iPad or only on a computer?
You should be able to use it on any, I would believe. Okay, give me one second. I just want to get in the,
I need to take my computer to the Geek Squad at Best Buy. It's like, I can't get in it. It's a long story, but
no
yeah.
worries. All right, so I'm going to share my screen quickly with you guys. All right, so when you're in your Google account, let me just move everybody's head here. All right, so when you're in your Google account, you can get there by going to, Gmail first. And what you do is you click on this up here in this corner, right? That little thing. And all the different Google options are going to come up over here. Okay, so I had Gmail up, I hit Google Drive. When I hit Google Drive, it came here, right? So this is a drive that Ruth and I have that has all of our courses, our training, like a bunch of it. We've got different folders for all of it. So we keep it here. Sea Life Nation is our folder where we have all of our Google Docs. So when you go on our training portal and you click on them, this is where they're all housed, right? This is where they all sit, is in here. Well, when you go back up to this little thing, you then can go down to Google Docs or Google Sheets, and this is where you create them. Now, once Carla shares that with us, then, you'll be, when you pull it up, that actual spreadsheet will come up, right? But you could have different things. So, we've got a to-do list in here. I mean, there's lots of things you can do, but this is where Ruth and I keep our training. So we keep a training schedule, just to show you, like, we have a spreadsheet. These are all our weekly trainings for you guys. Like, so you can see how they go all the way back to the beginning of 2020, right? When we did the sheet, and then we highlight them, and then we've got, what is it about? Here's our bot links, like everything that has to, go out on those we have in here. So you can do a ton of stuff within Google. Oops, so that's the sheet. I'm not sure if you guys are still seeing my screen, but once you get that spreadsheet there, Genevieve, and open it, it will open that Google sheet for you, and it'll save. You can then save it to your Google Drive. Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That was very helpful. Thank
And
you.
the cool thing, if you do a Google Doc or you do something on a sheet, the really nice thing is that it saves automatically, right? So you don't have to go back. So part of the reason that we did all of our documents for our training, for the training portal, is I can just go to that document and update it, and it's already updated in the training portal, because you guys are always coming back to that live document, right? And so originally we had a bunch of PDFs and stuff, but then every time we updated, then we had to upload them again. And so we just, I set it up as a central place. I took a weekend and redid every one of our documents and housed them there, because I'm like, I need to make sure that we've got an easy way to be updating. And so that's the nice thing, for you too, is if you make an update, it's automatically there. It'll change immediately. Okay. So does anybody have any questions on either of those ways to organize yourself?
I had started organizing with David Bird's binder,
Yeah.
and it was fun, except for it has pages for prospects, but then there's no way to like alphabetize them like in his system. So it totally is like, I can never find anybody. It's like, I need to go get the little pages with the alphabet and stick in his book.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll just switch to this other thing.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about the Fort Knox in a box. Like I said, you've got the month in the back. So if it's March and you're like, okay, I'm following up in May, you just put them in the May bucket for now, right? And then like Kimmy said, then when May comes, you move everything there to the front, but then you look through, if you've got notes, then you can break them down on the days. The other thing is, if you've got 40, 50, 60 people in there, obviously you can't follow up with all of them at once, right? So having, the 1 through 31 with the month in the front allows you a way to go, okay, I'm going to follow up with 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and just kind of break it down throughout the month. Because if you've got, if you break it down to just a few a day, it's going to make it much easier for you to do. Then, know immediately who you're following up with that next day.
That makes sense. I'm connecting with enough people. I mean, not even counting the online people that I'm now seeing in Raleigh, that it's like I'm behind in following up, and I'm losing business and prospects because I'm not following up quick enough, and it's driving me nuts. I'm just like
100%. So something like this could be great. And like I said, it doesn't matter which way you do it, but we've got to have follow-up, because, and again, yeah, whether you're meeting people local or whether you're meeting people online, you're putting effort in to meet these people. You don't want to lose them, right? You want to make sure that you've got that follow-up in there so that you aren't losing sales and losing business.
A tennis court's a good place to meet people that need stuff for their body.
Absolutely. I love it. So guys, did anybody have any questions on any of this? No? Was this helpful to you guys? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So that's what we have for today. Again, I want to just announce that starting on Monday, our huddles will be at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern time. And so that is an hour later for all you East Coast, well, for everybody really. And we're going to keep that time going forward. So even when the time change hits in the fall, we're just going to keep that time. So just moving everything. And the other thing we're going to do too is our wake up call. We're also going to bump 1 hour later. So it's going to be at 8 o'clock Pacific instead of 7. Just again, to make it 1 hour later for everybody. So wake up call will be at 8 and Pacific, and then training will be at 9 Pacific. The only day I need to check on is Wednesday with Jesse. And but I believe when I talked to him on Wednesday, I believe he wants it at 9 going forward as well. So I'll confirm that. So Donna.
May I ask something else that has nothing to do with this? I had somebody that signed up as an agent, but I think I mentioned to you, I couldn't get it to work by hitting that upgrade button on our account.
Yeah.
So I did what was suggested and I set it up separately, but she has all this product credit in her other groups.
Yeah.
I called customer service to see if they could merge her accounts.
Mhm.
And they told me they can't merge accounts. Whereas I know they've merged an account for me before because my brother had to. So
Well,
what's the deal?
Send me the information of who it is and I'll see if there's anything I can do with the VIP line.
Thank you.
Some of the customer service people are newer and
Yeah, I just don't think she understood what to do.
she may not have. Okay. So just send me the information and I will find out for you. But I can tell you real quickly that they can at least go in and still use that product credit in that old account. Kimmy, did you?
I know, but now it's like she doesn't want to pay retail for it when she's an agent.
Right. But if she's got free product credit, just let her use up her credits.
Right. But the product credit will be spent at the retail price, not at her agent price, because it's in
Well,
her
they probably,
customer account. It's not in her agent account.
I understand that, but it's either that or lose it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not going to lose it. I actually gave her the products that she was going to use out of my own inventory. So it's me that's going to be using the product credit. So, like selfishly, I'd love to get more for my dollar.
Yeah. But
Yeah. But the product credit is as a customer, not as an agent.
correct. We have to earn the product credit differently as an agent.
Well, like I've got, so my wallet credit is
Oh.
because it's her wallet credit. That's different than my wallet credit.
Well, you earn it differently.
Well, I know I earn it differently,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So,
Okay,
but-
whatever. I mean, we won't lose it, but it still doesn't make sense. I still would like all the information in one place, even if those, so like $255 of credit, even if that's at retail, that's fine. But it's messy that it's in two separate,
It's okay.
for history, it's in two separate places.
It's
Are
okay.
Thank you.
Are the huddles going to be on the Team Synergy link?
No, they're not. They're going to be on this Team Truth link. Okay. And I'm going to be giving Kara the login info so she can be getting the replays for you guys. Okay. Kimmy, you had something you wanted to add?
I was just gonna let you know that I recently did, using the VIP line, submit that similar issue. But for me, it wasn't going from customer to agent. It was that I was finding duplicate customer accounts, both with points. And I think sometimes you might have somebody that creates a new account because they don't remember the login for the other one. And in that case, I was just told to submit an email with the different customer ID numbers and send it that way. I haven't gotten a response yet, but I just did something very similar as I was going to share. So when you do that, I don't know how it would work for a customer to agent though. I think you're more on the right track for that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kimmy. Anybody else have any questions on anything? No? Okay. Oh, you're muted.
I have one more question.
Okay.
I tried to go in and book another room for the company thing to Greece.
Okay.
The thing we can book, and it told me the link wasn't working anymore. Is that done? I mean, can you still go in there? or should it have worked?
I was in there yesterday, changing stuff. I didn't have any issues.
Okay, I must have not been doing it right then.
It-
Okay.
Who knows? It could have just been a timing thing. That is the other thing I wanted to add real quickly too. Shoot, what did I want to tell you guys with that? Shoot, I'm not sure what I wanted to tell all of you, but it had to do with that. Oh, well, I'll remember later. I will post it.
Was it that the weeks are supposed to be announced in Vegas?
No,
Okay.
that's not what I was gonna say. I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, it'll come to me.
Oh, does anybody know, customer service didn't know this. And I asked them to submit it to somebody higher in their, that would help them. I have like this odd computer generated password for my Club Secret account, and I want to change it to something that I can remember. And the girl tried to help me figure it out on the phone. She couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. Has anybody figured that out? Does anybody know how to do that?
So it's a different customer care, I can tell you for that, because it goes through something called secret incentives. So
Right.
it's not something they do at headquarters. Okay, so.
No, but like when we're in our Club Secret account, who would be able?
I don't know. I'm saying I need to find out because it's not the same customer care.
Yeah, I've called the other number too. That person didn't know either. So I've called both numbers.
Here's the thing, Genevieve, this is new. There's a lot changing. It's a brand new platform. And this is why it's only available to agents right now, because they want to work through some of these things, right? So by the time it launches in April, they should have some of these quirks worked out. So we just have to bear with and.
Okay, so still we can't get, our people have to sign up as an agent still to be able to do that. Is that right? I misunderstood that. Okay.
That's not going to change until convention.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, shoot. And I just forgot again. I remembered and I forgot. Okay. So anyway, guys, just understand and be patient with that. It's a new thing. They're making new announcements. They will be making some new announcements on Tuesday. And then of course, we'll be getting more announcements at convention. I know I was going to tell you guys, a couple of you had asked if you could have a virtual ticket. And I know that somebody had called in and they were told that because they weren't in Canada, they couldn't get a virtual ticket. That is not accurate. You can have a virtual ticket. So it is supposed to start showing up on that registration link as a virtual ticket. But either way, even if you get the $199 ticket now so that you get the discount, we can get you access to a virtual if it needs to be virtual. Okay, because I know some states have different rules. I know we've got some people on the team who are teachers, and because of that, they're not able to travel to certain states just yet and stuff. So it doesn't matter if you're in the US or Canada, if you need a virtual ticket to the convention, you can get it now. If there's any possible way you can be there in person, I 100% recommend you be there in person. Live events will change your life. They will change your business. They're just game changers, right? And yes, it's cool to watch live, but if you can be there in person and feel it and really be a part of it, you're going to have a way different experience than you are just watching it. So if there's any possible way to be there in person, I highly, 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 highly recommend that you do anything possible to make sure it happens. But if it's impossible for that to happen, then obviously get yourself a virtual ticket, because some of you have things that are beyond your control that are keeping you from being able to be there in person. But if you're not in one of those restricted states or countries, then try to be there, okay? Because you're gonna wanna be there. So that's what it was I wanted to share with you guys. So that's what we have for today, guys. We are gonna wrap this up, and we will see you guys on Monday morning. Again, 9 a.m. Pacific, it's gonna be the Team Truth link. We will be dropping that in the chat. And if you guys have any questions on anything, obviously don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope you all have an awesome weekend. So bye for now.
Thank you.